I love a good breakfast casserole, and this time of year, they really come in handy. So I'm going to show you my 3 favorite breakfast casseroles that I've been making in recent years. They are so easy to make and so good. I'm going to start with Sleepin' omelette. Now this is a casserole my mom and all her friends used to make when I was growing up. It is out of this world good and a little bit different. So butter a 9 by 13 inch baking dish, and the star of this casserole is just good old onion rolls. It's a bag of hamburger buns that are baked with onions, really flavorful. Tear them into chunks to fill the pan, and then cover the chunks of onion rolls with grated sharp cheddar cheese. Now another star of this casserole is cream cheese, and you're gonna have to trust me on this. Just use a fork to kind of tear off chunks and dot the entire top of the casserole with the cream cheese. And then, again, you gotta trust me on this, dot the entire casserole with chunks of butter. Now you can set this aside and chop some chives, or you could do green onions if that's easier for you to find. And now it's time for the egg mixture. Just crack a whole bunch of eggs into a big pitcher. Should I? And then you're gonna add some milk, plenty of whole milk, and dry mustard. This adds great flavor, along with a little cayenne, just gives it a little kick, and add a little salt and pepper. And then use a fork to whisk this together. Add most of the chives. You can save some chives or green onions for serving. But once it's all mixed together, then you probably saw this coming. You're gonna pour this egg mixture all over the top of this casserole. I do it slowly just so it can really get over all of the bread. And you'll see that it's visible in the bottom of the pan. But what you're gonna do is cover this with foil and pop this in the fridge overnight or for several hours. And slowly that onion bread is gonna absorb the egg mixture. So the next morning when you're ready to bake it, preheat the oven to 325 degrees and bake it for about 45 minutes with the foil on. Then reach in, pull the foil off. Oh my gosh, it's looking good. Pop it back into the oven, raise the heat to 350 and bake it for another 15 or 20 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Oh my gosh. I have to say, this is probably my favorite breakfast casserole in the universe. You can cut it into neat little squares after it has sat for 15 or 20 minutes, or you can just go in with a big serving spoon and get a chunk, but it is unbelievably flavorful. You can sprinkle on more chives or green onions when you serve it. So amazing. Now the second casserole is a sweet option, and it's my go-to baked French toast. Just grab kind of a deep casserole dish, butter it, just as I did the previous casserole. And instead of onion rolls, I'm using just good old supermarket French bread. You can use ciabatta or sourdough or even leftover croissants or dinner rolls. Any bread will do. Tear it into big chunks, set it aside while you make the egg mixture. I'm going to use whole milk with this and some heavy cream. I don't have my glasses on. Oh man, youth is wasted on the young. Add the heavy cream to the milk, crack in a whole bunch of eggs. And then you want to add some sugar and some firmly packed brown sugar. Just sprinkle that in. And then vanilla. I usually use vanilla extract, but I happen to have this vanilla bean paste, which I love these days. Whisk it until it's totally combined. And then yes, just as you thought, this gets poured all over the bread. Just kind of slowly give it a chance to soak into the top chunks, but it's also going to soak into the bottom chunks. Cover it with foil, and before you put it into the fridge, make a streusel mixture, and this is going to get sprinkled over the casserole the next morning when you're ready to bake it. So in a bowl, combine flour, brown sugar, cinnamon. Sometimes I add nutmeg, a little sprinkle of salt. Use a fork to mix this together, and then cold butter goes in, and use a pastry cutter to just work it until they're just big chunks of this kind of streusel mixture. I'm actually going to store this in a separate bowl in the fridge overnight. It just does better when you sprinkle it on the casserole right before you bake it. So the casserole and the streusel topping goes in the fridge overnight. And when you're ready to bake it, preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And then you can pull the foil off and sprinkle that streusel mixture all over the top. Sometimes you have to kind of give it a stir and separate it because of the butter. So just sprinkle it over the chunks of bread. If there are any really big chunks, you can break them up, just as long as it's kind of covering all of the bread. And then it goes into a 350 degree oven, and you want to bake it for a good 50 minutes, and the inside is going to be soft at 50 minutes. So if you like it to be a little more firm, you can go even an hour and 5 minutes. Let it sit for a little bit and then cut it into squares, and you will see what I mean by French toast. Look inside at that beautiful soft bread, and then the top is just this crispy, streusely sweet mixture. Add butter and syrup. You can do berries, even powdered sugar if you want. Out of this world. Oh, I love this casserole, and it really feeds a crowd. It kind of seems to just keep expanding. Now, the third casserole that I want to share with you is honestly one of my favorites. I made it for a church potluck 2 years ago, and so many people asked me for the recipe. Start by mixing eggs with milk and sour cream, or you can do Greek yogurt, salt and pepper. Give it a whisk. And when that's all mixed together, you can cut up some green onion or chives, whichever you have. Do the light and the darker parts, and grab some parsley and chop it up. You could also do cilantro or any herbs that you happen to have. You could even use pesto. That would be delicious. So add the green onions and some parsley to the egg mixture, along with a jar of drained pimentos, some Colby Jack cheese. Save some for the top of the casserole. And then cooked chopped bacon goes in. I mean, it's already looking great. You could bake this in a little skillet and make sort of a frittata situation. All right, so butter a pan. I'm a creature of habit. Have I mentioned I love butter? I don't know if you knew that about me. And here's where things get interesting. Grab a bag of frozen tater tots and lay them side by side all over the bottom of the dish. You want to have a total layer of these tater tots. And then, yes, the egg and cheese and veggie mixture gets poured slowly over the tater tots. Okay. And then you make a second layer of tots. Just line them up. This really doesn't take as much time as you'd think. So cute. And then sprinkle on more Colby Jack cheese. And I like to bake this fresh rather than put it in the fridge overnight. It just seems to bake up better that way. And please notice the hole in my jeans. I'm sorry. Also notice how I'm about to shut this oven. We do what we have to do. So let the casserole sit for about 10 minutes and then sprinkle over some parsley. And I want to show you what this looks like when you serve it. It's just this potatoey, eggy, cheesy, flavorful casserole. I absolutely love it. It's so filling and hearty. Well, I hope you've enjoyed my casseroles, friends, and I hope you make one of them soon. Enjoy!